Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, it is AussieVerse, your home of comics, music, wrestling, and so much more. I am Omnibo, joined by the Sharif and Single Issue Steve. We are proudly sponsored by Comic Bookaroo, and today we are joined by the amazing, oh so talented Siya Oum. I so hope I pronounced that correctly.
It's fine. It's Oum, but I don't really care. You could however you want to pronounce it.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. We really, really do appreciate it. And I wasn't just being nice. Your work is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely amazing. How are you today?
I'm doing really good, actually. Thank you.
Fantastic. Is it about, what time is it for you there? About 5, I think it was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's 5 p.m. for me. What time is it for you guys?
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Oh, nice.
10 for me.
Yeah.
10
We want to
a.m.?
give a big, a.m. Yeah. We want to give a big shout out to Chris Yates for organising this. Thank you again, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
James, how are you, brother? All right. So I guess the first thing we want to talk about is, in case people aren't sure of who exactly you are, or they've been living under a rock, or they haven't seen your work, please let them know who you are.
I draw and write comic books. That's the short of it. But I've been doing it for about almost. Well, that's not true. Let me see. 1 second. I've lost track of my career. Maybe about 15 years. So I've been doing it for a while. I started out working at Aspen Comics with what is it? Frank Massimuro, Peter Steigerwald, and Vince Hernandez, and Mark Rosen. And so that was kind of my start. And yes, Lady Mechanika. That's kind of where I also was exposed to Lady Mechanika, because Joe Benitez was publishing that book through Aspen at the time, like early on. And so I always wanted to work on Lady Mechanika, but most importantly, I always wanted to work with Joe Benitez. And so my career has always been like basically jumping from different projects and different companies, because I had like a bucket list of projects and creators I wanted to work with. So that was like at Marvel, I was doing maybe close to 50 Marvel variant covers, and did a little bit of interior work. And then I was at DC doing some short stories, and I worked with Philip Kennedy Johnson on his Superman comic. And then what else was I doing? And then I was the artist on Fathom for 8 issues with Ron Mars. So that's the most recent thing I did. Was after Lady Mechanica, I was working on Rockefellers with Pete Tomasi and Francis Manipul. And so that's, I think, a good roundabout way to approach my career at this point. And now
those
here we are.
names, and those are big names that you've worked with.
Huge names.
Thank you. Yeah, it's bucket list. Like I said, I made a list of all the people I really loved and I wanted to work with. So
that's
amazing. Very impressive.
Let's check this out.
Oh, look, my fancy artwork.
Oh, wow.
It is so fancy. Like, my partner loves your art. He thinks you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's just a bunch of prints from my shop that I did exclusively for it. So.
Wow. That is so cool, man.
Thank you.
I love, like, I just pointed this one out as well. That's insane, man. That is
thank you so
cool.
much. I love watercolors. I mean, you know how they say it's the hardest medium to control, but at some point I'm just like, I'm not going to control it. I just want the colors to look a certain way. And then ever since I got used to using it, I've become very addicted to watercolors, more so than markers. Because, oh, you know what? How did I forget? I published Lola XOXO through Aspen Comics, which was my first creator-owned book. And that's where I basically right there, you see it right there. And that was colored mostly in Copic markers. And then I started to use a little bit of ink and stuff, because Copic markers was A, expensive, and B, it was so time consuming. So it was a little bit of both. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I started. I can't believe I spaced out and forgot I did my own creator-owned book with Aspen. That's kind of a funny one.
That just shows how much work you've been doing, I guess. So what's Lola about?
So Lola is about a young girl who grew up in the apocalypse, and she has basically a godfather and well, so you could say three godfathers that basically raised her, and she was kind of sheltered in like a post-apocalyptic New York, and she never left. And so as she gets older, she's like, you know what, I want to go and explore. And the guys are like, no, you can't go out there. And so she basically sneaks out, well, steals a horse, sneaks out there, and finds out really fast that it's exactly why they warned her about it. But then, once you do that, you fish out of the water, you can't go back. And so she basically goes on this journey to try to survive, I guess. And she was actually looking for her family. So because she didn't know if they were dead or not. And I guess that's basically the gist of the story. Mhm.
Well, we're gonna have to see if we can grab these somewhere else. Then they're sold out on your website.
Yeah.
Are those the trade paperbacks?
Yeah.
I might have to look in my bin because sometimes I'll like save a couple and then not put it on the shop. So I'll probably look and I'll let you guys know if I have a couple available. We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have the
Cool.
third volume yet, but as a trade, but I think we might be doing that soon. So right now it's all floppies for the third volume, which is the final story arc.
And
Cool,
we
you've
always
done
love
Lady Death as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was so much fun because Brian let me go crazy with the type of how I wanted to approach it, and so most of those are ink and a little bit of marker. So that was so much fun to paint everything by hand and stuff. So
Yeah, man. These are just
Cool.
insane as well.
Oh, wow. The
Absolutely.
Purgatory one's excellent too. That looks beautiful.
oh, thank you.
Which one? Purgatory.
Purgatory, yeah.
Man, these are just insane.
Thank you.
All right. Now we want to talk about. We'll go into a little bit more about yourself a little bit later. But for now, let's have a look at this Kickstarter, which looks also really, really cool. We have here. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, we go. Bang. All right, that window. All right. So here we go. We have Neo Wonderland graphic novel. Now I'm going to play the video, but I am going to mute it if there's music, because every single time we have somebody and it plays the video, YouTube crack it because the music is copyrighted somewhere.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
yeah, it definitely has music, but I paid for the music, but I guess it doesn't mean that you guys have it. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want everybody to be able to see this.
Oh, with the shape of the eyes, it's got a little bit of the manga in there.
A little bit more, definitely more than Lola XOXO. I went a different direction. This is a more recent, updated version of my art style right now.
G'day, Glitter and Duct Tape. G'day, Tate. Thanks for joining us as well.
Ahoy, hello.
Fully funded in 15 minutes.
That's insane. That's insane.
Holy moly. Okay. Well, let's take a look here. 292 backers, and there is still 19 days to go. Now, obviously,
Well
this
done.
is in Australian dollars.
I know, I'm
But-
like, dang, that looks so good.
Well, it's nearly $45,000. That is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. So, let's take
15 minutes. That's insane.
I was live streaming on my YouTube when we launched it, and I was nervous as you could be. And when I got the text message from Frank, he was like, "Oh, good job!" And I basically 5 minutes later started crying because I was, you put your whole entire life and your career on the line when you do this, and if nobody buys it, you're like crickets. It's like maybe I'm an imposter. Like you feel like you're an imposter to some extent. So, yeah.
15 minutes. That is correct, Tate.
That's so good.
I think it's
So for those
bewildering
who don't know,
why you should be surprised when a lot of your work is out there. People know the name.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't they back this?
I think it's because there's like right now, especially in October, there's so many books launching, and then there's so much noise, as it is. So it's like it could easily get lost in the shuffle, and it's not even clear if people are gonna respond to a new style, because I'm used to drawing, and coloring by hand and everything. So
Yeah.
there's a bit of a risk, like translating between what I used to do and what I have now. So it's like there's no guarantees, and I never felt like there would be. But at the same time, I figured it was going to get backed at some point, but in the first 15 minutes was completely not what I expected. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's going to take a couple hours to get to the asking price. So yeah, that was definitely a shocker. So needless to say, I'm like so grateful. I'll never take that for granted, because it was
It also,
it was
it also goes to
scary.
show. Oh, sorry.
What was
Also
that
goes to
again?
show that someone's looking. People are looking for something different. Sometimes you can obviously see that we're Marvel and DC fans, and Sharice's
Mhm.
obviously a bit of everything as well. But sometimes with some of the bigger brands, people get a little bit of fatigue, and they want to read something different. Some new stories, some new characters and stuff. So I'm not surprised it got done in 15 minutes.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because you never know once you step away from doing the big two books, how that's going to work with the fan base and everything, and if people, are going to respond to something new. And I understand that as well. But I feel like if I didn't do this now, like I'd probably never get to do it. After doing this for 15 years, you got to at least try, I guess.
And how
Well,
different is it doing working on your own book versus with big
Team.
publishers?
Well, since I'm doing the writing, pencil, ink, and colors myself, it makes it so that my process, I could jump around a little bit more. I mean, I did write a full script, but then I changed enough of it where just basically didn't even look at the script anymore. And so now it's more like the way that mangas are made, where the artist writer would write the dialogue on the page, you outline it, you kind of know where you're going. And so I could take shortcuts here and there, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't tighten my pencil. My layouts are pretty rough. I know what I'm doing, but if I handed it to a penciler or an inker, good luck with that. So I'm taking shortcuts in the penciling and layout phase and the writing, so that I could jump to the inks and colors and to streamline this whole process. So that's basically where it's different. And I have editor friends, and I have them look over some stuff. But I mean, right now I'm not like with a full on editor working with me at this point. Maybe in the next iteration of this, the next 2 issues, I could probably bring a few more people on board. But I knew that if I was raising like this much money right now and I didn't know where it was going to go, it's like, I don't want to take the chance. And so it's like, let's see where we go with this first. If we raise a certain amount of money, then definitely next time I'm probably going to need some more help than doing all the graphics myself. And having Chris help me out a little bit with he had to read through some of my typos and stuff. So good on Chris. I appreciate that. But he helped me out a lot too. Him and Frank and Vince, basically.
I think your art style is perfect. Like
Oh,
for
thank
my personal tastes, I think it is.
Mhm.
I've always not liked the cartoony sort of look. I really like the realism sort of look, and yours is sort of like bear with me because I'm really not good at describing these sorts of things. But with yours, it's not cartoony, but it's not like Gabrielle Delosso where it looks like a snapshot either. It's really got that mix where your
It's got a good
colors
balance.
your colors are just fantastic.
Oh, thank you
It's
so
just
much.
amazing.
Yeah, I love that balance too. I like it where it's just there's a distinctive because I've been working on American comics most of my career, but I do love manga, so I wanted to merge the two, a lot like Sean Murphy does in a way, and Jorge Jimenez. Kind of those styles are the ones that I kind of gravitate towards right now, and Matteo Scalera is one of them as well. So those are the guys that I'm kind of like focused on in terms of art, and maybe Kenneth Rocafort is another one that's got that style where it kind of straddles the line a little bit. But yeah, I think for this one it works for me just because it's cyberpunk and it's Tokyo-esque, Neo Tokyo in a way, so it can bend a little bit towards that direction, but without going too far where the eyes are just like overly like over the top, where I guess it's kind of cute though. It's so kawaii, but not in this case.
Well, for those that do want to find the Kickstarter, the link is in the description. But you can also, the easiest way, if you're not going to click that, is simply by going to Kickstarter and typing in Neo Wonderland, it'll come up straight away. And if you want to know what it is about and you can't, the screen is too small, it's an all-encompassing AI constitution is the international rule of law. Risky behavior is a thing of the past, except for in the country of Shangrila. Saint, a young man from there, reconnects with his younger brother Shin after being released from prison. Saint tries to stay on the straight and narrow, only to be dragged into its corrupt underbelly after discovering his brother's enormous debts. Saint exhausts all legal options, risking his freedom and life to repay Shin's debts. He becomes an assassin.
I love how you read that. That's awesome. I wish I had your voice reading it over the trailer. It sounds so epic, like a movie trailer.
He's available for voiceover work.
Very fluid and cohesive, Tate says. Speaks to one person doing it all. Very nice. Now,
that's awesome. Thank you. I never thought of it that way.
This is 40 pages, so it's already bigger than your normal.
Actually, it's 40 plus 4. Plus 4. We added 4 pages today because of the stretch goal. So I was like, okay, I'm going to add 4 interior pages. And I'm like, thank God I needed those pages for the story. So
brilliant.
44 pages of story. Yeah.
Plus 16 pages of behind-the-scenes sketches, script art, and 4. Oh, there you go. The 4 extra stories. Yep. And thank you pages for project backers. So we did take a quick look at the art here, which I'm absolutely in love with. If we keep scrolling,
it's stunning, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
Isn't it?
Oh, just the design, the colors. It's just beautiful.
Oh, thank you guys.
So you mentioned moving away from the previous art style into this. Is it just for this particular project, or will you be implementing or using this style for other works as well?
So when I was doing Rockefellers, it was a little bit of this, but I did move a little bit away from it just because I wanted to keep my style closer to Francis Maniples. But because I could go back and forth fairly easily, but I think for my own projects from now on, it's going to be closer to this. There might be slight variations because if I color with ink, for example, this style starts to look a little bit different, which you're going to see with one of the variant covers. So it's going to be mostly this style because I wanted to establish myself in terms of how something looks at this point instead of a lot of times mimicking or kind of getting close to the style of the people I work with or the book or something like that. So hopefully it sticks. I could stay with this style right here, I think.
Well, I've backed it at the digital level so far, but I feel like I'm going to have to upgrade it because these bonus items that are coming, I don't feel like I want to miss out on. So the first one has already been unlocked. It is a pocket magnet. I don't want to. What's this? Aya?
Oh, so it's actually the girl's name is Aya and the dog. Sorry, not dog. It's a cat actually. The cat's name is Pocky. I'm sorry. So Aya and Pocky. Magnet. Yeah,
right. That makes more sense. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then we have 2, 3, and 4 still to be unlocked. Unfortunately, the early bird special has ended. I hope everybody grabbed that as soon as they could. Let's take a look at the covers now. This was hard. This was hard, Siya. I looked at this and I went, like, if I'm going to grab the physical issue, which one do you get? Because both of these are so brilliant. I feel like the first one, this regular cover A, but cover B has that movie vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. And that was done in ink. That's what I mean. Yeah, I did that one in ink. So that's why the colors, the style looks slightly different because one was done digitally, colored digitally, and the other one's colored with India ink, actually.
Tate says you did Rockefellers.
Woo, I did. Well, I mean, I helped Francis out for 4 issues. So I did I don't want to take any credit for anything he's done because he's amazing and Pete is amazing. The story is amazing. But yes, the book is awesome. Thank you, Tate.
And Siya, you are a great artist and an even better person. But can you explain this? What is he doing? Sorry, this guy likes to make really weird pictures. I can't even see.
Yes, I can explain that. He watched the Halloween episode. It's Bob Ross. I named myself Bobby Ross, and that is definitely me. Oh, man. I had way too much fun with it. I was starting to get into character, and I couldn't get out of it for an hour. So I mean, I was
I'm
like,
so
I have a
glad.
beard. I mean, what do you see? Look at you. You guys you get the facial hair thing. It's like it makes you act a certain way when you're Bob Ross and you got the beard. Because my boyfriend's mom was like, how is she gonna get the beard on there? I mean, if she wants to look like him. And I'm like, that's a good question. So I took glue stick, put it on my face. I was like, it says non-toxic on it. I cut some of the hair and then I put it on my face and I had to use hairspray to keep it together kind of. And so the first 15 minutes or so, all of a sudden the hair gets into my mouth. I start spitting it out and then it gets into my throat. And then I had to go, it was really bad, but yeah, then I had to just paint the beard on, but it's just too much fun. Sorry.
I'm so glad that made sense because I'm not going to lie, Matt got me a little worried there when I couldn't see what that picture was.
Yeah, some designs are
you guys can
questionable,
go to
aren't
my
they?
channel and it's called the Halloween episode, so you'll see what I mean. I promise you. If you want to blackmail me, that it's right there on the internet. So.
All right, awesome. And then you got cover C and cover D as well. But if that is not good enough for you, you can turn
You
into
could go metal.
covers. Look at that. That's pretty cool, man.
They're cool, aren't
That
they?
is pretty cool. And yet there is more, the black and white cover and interior edition. We know a lot of people like that
I had
stuff.
to do the whole manga thing. It had to be in black and white because I love black and white art so much.
Yep. Fair enough. Man. This is great. So where did you come up for the idea with all of this?
20 years ago. So when I was still going to college, I came up with this concept. It was going to be a man-made island, two brothers. They were probably going to be assassins, but it was more kind of towards like street racing and stuff. This was like way right before Fast and Furious, the first one came out, but this whole street racing culture was happening. And it was so like the vibe was just so enticing at the time. But then I slowly changed that and took that out of it. And now we have hoverboards and flying cars and stuff and cyberpunk. And that was maybe 6 years ago. I think I changed it a little bit because I just thought it'd be more fun to draw that stuff. And I always wanted to draw hoverboards. So here we are. We're going to have modded hoverboards and stuff.
It's definitely got those cyberpunk and Shadowrun kind of elements to it. It's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
I love this little sketch on the right.
Oh, that was done with the colored pencil, like a mechanical pencil lead, and I was having fun with it. And I love how that lead is so smooth when you draw with it. It's just unfortunate that I was going to try to draw the comic book with that lead because it looks so neon. And the problem is if you start erasing, then it just leaves like this smear and smudge. And so sometimes the person would have like 3 or 4 different heads and I can't get rid of it. So it was like, it was a failed attempt, but I do have one page that was colored fully and drawn with that. So that's going to be in the sketchbook. So you'll see what it's supposed to look like if I really went all traditional with that, with the interior art.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Okay, let's go through the tiers now. Okay, so the cheapest option, if you want to dip your toes into this and see what it's all about, is $10, which is the digital download PDF. That includes issues 1 and 2 of Neo Wonderland and some wallpapers for your computer and your cell phone, as well as the making of behind the scenes and video content. That is a lot for $10.
Yes, it is.
I didn't realize you were giving away so much. And
I think it was a shipping thing for me. I knew if I had international fans that wanted the book, but the shipping or the VAT taxes and stuff were going to be too much. I feel like the digital tier would just be enough, and I wanted to give them extra because I understand like if you just get one book for a digital tier, it might not be enough, or just because it doesn't feel all encompassing. I wanted it to be interactive because when you get the box, like you actually get the physical book. I want it to be when you open it up, like you feel like you're in this world, I'm all about like, the upgraded swag that you get when you pre-order a video game. The same kind of concept, where you get these really cool boxes. And remember Halo 3 would have the cool presentation. Like I'm so obsessed with that stuff. It's unfortunate I can't afford to do that with this one, but if I could, it would just be like, Cyberpunk 2077, how I guess the premium box was kind of like that. So
Fantastic. Okay, well, that's a hell of a lot for that. Tier 2 is $20, and that is the cover A print copy that has issues 1 and 2 of Neo Wonderland, as well as digital download tier from the first one just previously. Still 44 pages, 16 pages of bonus material as well. Or you can always go to the next cover, which is $25, cover B. Check out that awesomeness. Or you can go to tier 3.2, which is $25. Get that cover C. I paused because I wanted you to think that was all, but it's not. There's more. $25, you can get cover D if that is your jam. Or if you want the artist edition, $45 gets you cover A, black and white edition, and shebang, the sketchbook. Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. I like it. And there's still more. Tier 5, $60 gets you the variant set covers of A, B, C, and D. Do you want all the covers? Then that's your thing. Tate in the chat. I'm looking at you. Tier number 6.0, $75 metal cover A, $75 metal cover B, $75 metal cover C, or you can get the whole Pokey, I think I said that right, super fan. That gets you issue 1, the cover exclusive to tier number 7. So keep that in mind. The sketchbook and comic strip, trading cards, hollow stickers, keychains, magnets, and t-shirts. Whoa.
Jeez.
Just for the cat.
I'm afraid for my partner Claudia to see that tier because she'll want all the tier number 8, that's right, we're still going. $100 gets you the A, B, C, D covers, the black and white edition, the sketchbook, and 180 tier 9 is the metal covers, baby. Whoa. You get all metal covers, A, B, and C, or for $250, you can get the cover set and the metal cover set.
You're going to run out of voice here soon.
Oh, no, don't worry. I've lots of practice with this because there's still more tiers. Tier number 11, $360 gets you all of this swag. Check that out. Check that out. Hey, Steve, do you think that's it?
No, I reckon there's more.
There's more. It is also tier number 12. The one that I'm most excited about, the 425 one, is the drawing commission. That is right. You can get this character bust full color on Neo Wonderland sketch cover. Only 12 slots available.
And I don't know how much is left, so I'm going to have to scroll to the right because I didn't update that yet, or I didn't even look, actually. So,
well, there's also tier 13, 525 drawing commission.
I think that one's completely locked in already. I think those slots are all accounted for.
Lucky people got those ones.
And that one's already sold as well. That's the original interior page. So,
wow, congratulations. That's really cool.
Thank you.
There was only one available, so it makes sense. What about this one?
That one might be available. I have to look. So, yeah, I have to look to the right. I think that one's still available, but yeah, I think that's still available. So,
all righty. Well, that is the cityscape scene, Steve, that you saw earlier. The original art for that. That's pretty sick, man. And then we've got another one as well, $600. This is the promo art. Look,
and I think that one might be sold as well. I think that one's sold.
Okay.
So.
Well, there's still more. $750 gets you this beast.
And that one might be sold too, I think. I think that one might be available. I don't know. I have to look at that one. So.
Okay. Well, still got that. And look at this one, the promo art of Saint, 9 by 12 inches, pigmented ink on Archer's watercolor paper. Ooh, yeah. I dig it. And, oh boy.
And that one's sold.
Really wanting a good time. That's sold.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first ones to go because it's the main cover. Usually it's, thank you guys. Usually it goes pretty fast.
All right. And how many tiers have you've got so much?
Yes, I know. And I had to create like each individual tier for these one pieces. So it's like a lot of work.
Oh boy. Look at that fantastic thing right there.
So how do you feel about selling you're one off? Like, are you like, oh, I want to do it, or I'm not really sure if I want to do it? How do you kind of feel about that?
I actually don't mind it, just because I've had some fans for a long time, and they've been so giving to me, like they've supported me from the beginning. And so whenever they buy it, I already know where it's going, and it's like, it makes me feel better that it's not just sitting in my little folio, and it's going to a good home. And I, anything that I'm like completely attached to, guess what? I probably still have it. So so I have some pieces, but not very many. I like actually collecting other people's art more than keeping my own, because it just feels a lot nicer to give it to someone who would actually frame it and treat it better than I would, basically.
Yeah.
I know I know some artists that don't sell their originals on usually, but I'm not one of those people.
And look at all this extra stuff you can get: magnets, stickers, keychains, trading cards, which is cool, the print and the t-shirt, or you can get add-on books as well. Oh man, this is going to be hard.
Huge. How good's this?
All right, so let me go to managing my pledge here. Let's have a look here. We're going to change.
I might just add on the sketchbook to one of the physical books. Oh, gotta have the sketchbook.
So we have the digital. Now we've got the print. Oh man, I don't know which cover to get. Which one are you leaning towards, Sharif?
B.
You're leaning towards B?
Yeah.
Steve, what about you?
I'm leaning towards A.
Oh, you had to. God damn you guys.
Not no help, right?
Sorry.
All right. Well, you know what? Because I'm going to grab that print as well. Let's go to that one. We're going to grab that one, and we're going to go. Where do you? Oh, here you go. We add the stuff here. Okay. I want.
This is so fun. I'm shopping with you.
Let's see.
I don't actually get to see this side of the Kickstarter, so it's interesting.
Get a t-shirt, mate.
No, I want the prints. Here we go. I want that print. I want to give that to Claudia, my partner. She'll love that.
I thought she wanted a cat, huh? I'm just joking.
She wants anything that you're doing, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
Get that one too.
Okay, so let's go confirm changes. Bada bing, bada boom. We will see if I can afford more when it gets closer to the day, because we're already at $75 for me. So we'll see how we go.
Thank you so much, Matt.
No, dude, that is really fantastic, man. I really, really love it. Wow. Okay, so we've got how many more days? Actually, it was 20.
20,
so?
I think. This is 20
Yep.
or 19, maybe.
19, I think.
19 now. Dun dun dun.
And is this your first Kickstarter?
It is my first. I mean, I don't know if you consider it my Kickstarter when I was working on Lady Mechanika, because we kickstarted two issues, I guess. And so, I mean, that was his book and that's their Kickstarter. So I just kind of piggybacked off of that. So this is my first official attempt at doing it myself. Overnight, almost a month. Took me. I did it a month ago. I think I started. So.
Oh,
see, earlier you said for this one, and then you've got 2 more coming.
Oh, for this for this one, I actually so this is going to be 6 issues for the first volume, and there's 2 volumes for Kickstarter. So I'm probably going to have at least 2 more for this one, and the goal is to get maybe 18 issues, and then have a trade paperback, because I would love to get one as a trade paperback at that point for the first volume of this book. So
yeah, well, see, you're talking to a channel that loves collected editions.
I see.
We predominantly don't really buy single issues with things. So if there's going to be a collected edition of it, you bet you're behind. We'll be grabbing that one.
So let me ask you guys, do you guys like the hardcover, or do you have a preference for the height, or what kind of size do you like for your bookshelf?
Hardcovers all the way.
Hardcovers all the way.
Hardcovers.
But in saying that, you know, if things only come out in a trade, at least I'll buy it. Sharif is always like, wait for the deluxe edition. And I'm like, it might never come out in a deluxe edition.
Well, now that I know that, I mean, like, I really wanted my own hardcover, but then I was talking to my friend Eric Canetti, and he's like, when it's only a certain amount of pages, it's small. So just wait a little bit and just be patient with it. So I'm like, now I'm in a hurry to get this book done so I can get my hardcover. Because I really want one on my bookshelf. If you see behind, you can barely see it, but all my friends' books are, you know, like they look really cool on the bookshelf. So I would like my own at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. And how cool would it be to look at the bookshelf and just see your own spine?
Yeah, I'm probably
sticking
going to cry again. I did that during the Kickstarter live. I think I cried after 10 minutes like a baby because I was like not expecting it to happen so fast. But yeah, it'd be cool to get my book there. And then I would probably go hustle at the Barnes & Noble bookstore to try to get them to carry my stuff. It's like back a local artist, please.
I didn't realize you had a YouTube. So let's take a look at that.
Oh yeah, you'll see the Halloween episode so fast.
My name is Siya Oum, and I am a comic book artist writer. I have been doing it for quite some time. So thanks for stopping by my channel, and if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys around. Please join me, have coffee, draw some comic books, you know, hopefully we can hang out sometime.
At a show, that is.
At convention. It's been a while. Anyhow.
Well, AussieVerse has subscribed to your channel now, as you can see.
Nice. So there's a Halloween one right there with the green. You see Pocky's in a green suit. You'll see Bob Ross. There's going to be music at the beginning, so you have to, you know, because of that trailer. But
oh my God.
Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm a little blurry, I think. Yes. Still blurry. Still a little blurry. Yeah, there you go. Can you see Bob now? Why is he not working?
Oh, that is hilarious.
I don't know. My camera doesn't like Bob's face. Because I'm Bobby, not Bob. So, I don't know. He doesn't like Bob's face.
Right, let's see where this ended up going.
Until I go to the YouTube channel, and I noticed that there's a bunch that I didn't see for some reason. So I don't know how it arranges it. Oh, you know
I had
what?
ripped my
Is it
beard
because-
off by then, so.
Oh, it won't let me do anything. Dang it. OBS won't let me go into the chats to look at all of them because I'm not on YouTube right now. I'm like shaking. I'm cold. Bob is cold. Bob
is cold. Oh, God. Well, you've obviously got a great sense of humor. That is fantastic.
I was like, am I going to regret doing this? Oh, well. Because there was an inside joke with my live stream, my fans, like about me talking like Bob Ross sometimes and, you know, just for fun. And I'm like, you know, for Halloween, maybe I should be Bob. And they're like, do it. And so after 3 live streams, you're like, yeah, let's try it and see what happens. What's the worst that could possibly go wrong? So it went sideways so fast because I think I ran to the bathroom just to spit the beard out, you know. And they're like, oh my God, it went sideways so fast. But, you know, it was fun. Memorable.
So let's talk a little bit about you. Were you into comics first and that got you into art, or were you into art and then you started reading comics? How did that sort of work for you?
So I mean, you know, like most kids, you draw as a kid, and I was drawing She-Ra, and I would see Superman and Supergirl on TV and Batman, you know, so you're like familiar with the films. It wasn't until my younger brother asked my dad for a comic book. He wanted to, you know, read comics. And so my dad brought me along because he knew I like art, or I think that's why I should ask him. He probably won't remember, but we went to the comic book shop. My dad got him a comic, and then he said I could get one. And I was like, oh, cool. You know, I see Superman and stuff. So of course it registered. Like I knew what comic books were kind of in the peripheral, like you think Garfield and stuff. Right. But then I got Swamp Thing and my brother got Wolverine. And ever since then I saw like the ads in the back with Jim Lee's artwork from X-Men 1 and on the t-shirts, you know, like remember back then the X-Men 1 with the fold out covers. I was in love and I wanted that book so bad. Somehow my dad took us to another shop in a few months later, I think. And then I saw that comic book and my heart almost dropped. If my dad had said no, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I would probably convince my brother to try to get it. But then basically my dad bought me that book and my brother got a different book. I think it had Rogue and Gambit on the cover. I think they were about to kiss or something. Remember that one? Mm. And so ever since I got that book, I just sat there and drew Jim Lee's art, like tried to draw like him since I was in middle school. And I never stopped collecting ever since, you know, collecting, drawing. So it was kind of like, it happened so fast. I don't know if you could separate the two, chicken or egg. I'm not sure. Maybe the chicken and the egg were hanging out together, and I don't know, at the same time. But yeah, that's how it started. And I always wanted to draw a witchblade when I was in high school. And so in my yearbook, I wrote that someone, because I did the yearbook art, and my friend was like, oh, so put in the back of your senior statement what you wanted to do. And I was like, I want to draw a witchblade. And I was reading, I think Greg Capullo just started drawing Spawn at the time. So that was about the time Witchblade was going strong. And Michael Turner did not start Aspen Comics yet. So that was about it. And so ever since then, I've been, even during college, I would just try to get better and better and better. And then I met David Wool at convention, and I showed him my portfolio, which I cut in line. There was like probably 20 people deep. I didn't know because the line was winding. So I thought, and I saw David Wool, I just beelined up to him, and I was like, hi, can I show you my stuff? He's like, oh yeah, I would love to take a look at it, but I think these guys are ahead of you. I was like, oh, okay. Went all the way to the back, waited. I don't know how long it was, but I finally got up there, and he liked the fact that I was doing interior art, even if it wasn't great yet, but he saw that I was trying. And so he gave me his business card, and I kind of kept in contact with him. But then during college, I didn't do it for a while because my art wasn't improving at the rate I wanted it to. But I knew that as soon as I was ready, I was going to show it to him again, whether he remembered me or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have. So yeah. And then the rest is basically history. So it was always something I wanted to do.
What are the kinds of challenges you face in your illustrious career so far?
Deadlines. Deadlines, and then wanting to do too much, because I grew up like, Michael Turner, Joe Benitez, David Finch, that art style is like, it's so detailed that you want to just draw these really cool backgrounds and stuff. But the reality is, when you have tight deadlines, it's like you have to know where to take some shortcuts. And I was kind of stubborn in my head, and if it didn't look right, I had a hard time moving on. But it was more, those were the things I felt like were a bigger challenge to me than anything else, because I didn't have a problem getting work. I worked consistently since I started, for the most part. There was like a lull of a month or two here and there, but nothing crazy. It's been pretty good for me in that sense.
Siya, did you find that being a female in sort of more of a traditional male-dominated industry, did you find it was a bit harder to crack into, or do you think it was people, obviously things are changing now, but back when you started, was it a bit difficult for you to try and break in?
I mean, and this is my own personal experience. I can't speak for anybody else, but I felt like I had a bigger advantage actually than not, because I knew I was willing to do the work. And I knew that, I mean, if I approached it a certain way, people would know to take me seriously in a way. Like I told Vince, and I've said this publicly, I told him when I first started to communicate about doing work, I said, don't go easy on me. If there's something you don't like about how it looks or works, or I can improve on, please let me know. I don't want you to take it easy on me just because, I'm a girl and stuff. And he's like, noted. I'm not going to go easy on you, dude. I was like, all right. And he wasn't joking. And Peter Steigerwald, same way. Peter will not hesitate to tell me something looks funny. And he's very blunt about it. And so I've been very fortunate that I've had those colleagues in my life. And for the most part, that's how it is. And Vince and Frank and I, so a lot of the Aspen guys, we play fantasy football together. And so I'm on their league. I've been doing it for 10 years. Trust me, they don't really want me to succeed that much at this point, because they're like, dude, you've already won twice. We're not going to take it easy on you. You're not a girl right now. You're our competitor. So I'm like, I'm good with that. And so that's my own personal experience. I think I'm very self-aware in the sense that I understand what the perception is. And it just water off a duck's back in a way. It's like you do the work and you're proud of your work and you carry yourself in a way that because I do love what I do. So it doesn't really bother me if someone does think something, but usually it's been really good. I've been very lucky for the most part. Yeah.
So to just ask you another question, just unrelated, but you talked about fantasy football. I've got to ask you, because I'm an NFL fan and have been a Bengals fan for 35 years. Who's your team?
Okay, so I was from Washington State, so it was Seattle. I'm kind of I'm okay with it now. Pete Carroll's no longer there, so I'm not really tied to anything. And that we won the Super Bowl, so that's good enough for me. But I'm not a diehard in that sense. My boyfriend, on the other hand, is a different story. But right now, my team would have to be. I don't have a team. I just root for my guys, and that's it. The ones that are on, like Joe Burrow has been injured for a long time now, and I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have picked him up, but I mean, now I have Dak Prescott as my quarterback. I'm like, sometimes he does really well, sometimes he doesn't do very well, so I'm not super thrilled with some of the guys right now that I have. I'm not attached to them in any way, so yeah,
I'm
not in Seattle anymore. So
I'm coming second last in our fantasy football comp.
You are?
Yeah, I'm having a terrible year.
I'm in the middle, so I'm doing okay right now because we have a what is it? It's legacy, so you basically carry over your team and stuff. And so I'm 6th place right now out of 10. Last year I was like top 3, but then I still ended up at 6th place because of the playoffs. And so I don't want to talk about it. It's so bad. I think I'm okay.
Sorry to hijack it. I just like.
Oh no, you're okay. Yeah, I know I get like very passionate about that sometimes. So
I'm just looking at another chat that I'm in on Instagram, and people are just going nuts about your art in there. I don't know why they're talking on Instagram. Go on the stream, guys.
Go Niners! No Niners! I saw that. That's like our arch enemy, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, before we return, let's have a word from our sponsor, Comic Bookaroo, Australia's #1 online comic book store. Comic Bookaroo, proud sponsors of AussieVerse for all your comic book needs. Graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, single issues. Don't forget to pre-order every Sunday at Comic Bookaroo. And
I love that name, Comic Bookaroo. It's such a cute name.
How good is it? Like, people keep thinking we're making it up, but it's a real place.
It exists.
Don't forget to click that QR code, and that will take you straight to the Kickstarter as well.
Comic Bookaroo.
We should also thank our 4 lifers.
Quackaroo. Quackas. Oh, sorry, yeah. Comic book quacka. They're so cute.
Yes, Steve, thank you for reminding us. We do also want to give a massive thank you to our 4 lifers. These are our paid members that do spend $1 or $2 every single month to help AussieVerse be what it is today. If you want to support AussieVerse but don't want to spend a dime, that's cool. The best thing you can do is simply subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and give us your firstborn. That's about enough. Now, as we continue down the path of yourself, I've got to ask, who is your favorite characters? Whether they be somebody independent, Marvel, DC, whatever it is, who's your favorite?
That's a good question right now. You know how sometimes you go back and forth and stuff? I think the one that I stuck in terms of, okay, I'm going to name off a few names, but I think Jackie Estacado, The Darkness, was one of my favorites. And Witchblade was my favorite for a while. Definitely, actually, for a long time. But I think Jackie was the one that stuck with me. Estacado. I just loved. I mean, obviously, you could kind of see my book. There was some little semblance of The Darkness in terms of like how gritty and the dark humor in some of it. So maybe Jackie, probably.
Witchblade is still going strong.
Oh yeah. In fact, my buddy Giuseppe is the one drawing it right now, and if you thought I was a huge Michael Turner fan, he's even a bigger fan. I think he's got his name or Soulfire. He has a couple Michael Turner tattoos on him. So the fact that he got that gig, I'm so happy for him. Like, if anybody deserves to draw Witchblade, it would, or even Darkness, it would definitely have been Giuseppe Gaffaro. So he's amazing.
ETA 9781 has asked, is your comic cyberpunk?
Oh yeah. We got hoverboards and flying cars. And a lot of rain and a lot of mist and neon lights. It's like Chris was saying, neon cyberpunk, I guess. So
does that mean you're a fan of Back to the Future?
Yes, I am. I mean, who could not be? And I thought it was kind of cool to have the idea that people mod their hoverboards and stuff and cars. You take junky cars like the old Mustang and stuff and just kind of mod them and make it fun, and you had a lot of punks up in the sky with their hoverboards. I mean, how fun would that be? So it was a lot of wish fulfillment, I guess. And one of the other jokes is like, people get drunk, even the main character, they come off the like 50-story building onto their hoverboard, and then he slips and he pukes onto somebody who's like 500 feet in the ground. at the bottom or something silly like that. I'm like, who do you end up puking on? But it's just things like that. It's just so much fun to come up with ideas. I mean, I'm gonna give my credit to my live stream, my fans on there too. We come up with really bad ideas, or bad good ideas.
So what challenges do you think you'd face when translating your ideas from the page to the actual artwork itself, or the visual elements mixing that in with the narrative? Do you find that to be difficult, or is it something that just is really easy for you? Because I know different artists, some find that very hard, some find that very easy.
I think I think the talking head pages are pretty easy, but it's the action and also not boring storytelling. It's like, how do you show action? It's like that with film. Something, but you never want it to just be showy. You want it to actually do, move the story along in some ways. And so that for me was the hardest part. And then having to draw all the backgrounds that go along with it and make stuff up that isn't around, or like how much do you bring in from reality and versus like science fiction and stuff. And so sometimes I'd have to I realized I want to draw this really cool cityscape, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have to design all the cars now, or something to that extent, where it's like, wait, that looks like a Volkswagen. You know what I mean? So it's designing things on the fly. And I think, so Francis Manipul, when we were doing Rockefellers, we had to design all those things that were from the future, from the issues I did. And we're like, I'm sitting there just sweating bullets, just trying to figure out some of these ideas. And he's like, oh, we didn't really design a whole ton of stuff ahead of time. I'm like, so just kind of use your best judgment. And I was like, yeah, I think I will. But then I went a little overboard and just started designing like every little house on the page. If you see the opening scene is like all these little houses. I had to sit there and go, that doesn't look right, or that doesn't look different enough, or is that kind of off the wrong kind of architectural time period and stuff like that. So it's just the design, I think, of it.
Yeah, fair enough then. And sorry guys, I just want to ask another one here. How do you approach character development in a comic? Because I think, I used to write things many, many years ago, and I think creating a character is one thing, right? Because especially if it's your first comic, because you've probably had that character in your head for 20 years or so. But how do you go from getting that character and then being able to develop that character?
I think, especially with us, we digest a lot of media, whether it's comic books, film, video games, TV shows, animation. So you already have an idea in your head, like what vibe you're going for. I mean, vibe is the word I use because it's like, I knew I wanted it to be, let's just say, kind of gritty, but funny at the same time. I've seen and watched so much stuff that you kind of you take everything in and you kind of make it into a Frankenstein, and then you start to slowly refine it and make it so it's like, not Frankenstein. And so it's your Frankenstein, and it's no pun intended. The movie just came out, but so I think it's like an emotional attachment to the characters. And then, like, okay, if they're this type of character, they're probably going to dress like this, move like that, talk like this. And so that's easy. And then the world is like, I already knew what I wanted in my head. Like, I'd love to do something that has like cute little Japanese villages, maybe on the outskirts, and then some really pretty, like, high-tech looking downtown. And then, a lot of that stuff has a lot of seedy parts of it too. So it's like the perfect combination to stick that character into that environment. Because in his head, he's like, I'm a good guy. I'm trying to save my brother. I was in prison for 10 years as a kid, but I'm a good guy. And it's like, you just take these little bits and pieces, and then you play around with like, well, what would happen if this character is in this environment? And that, I think, is all you really need to build something and make it more like your own, and then more interesting in a way, and the relatability of the two brothers, I think, is important with a cyberpunk environment like that. Is like Star Wars, where you ground everything because of Luke, and in the world as crazy as it is, like, you have this grounded character. So that's kind of where I start. I mean, I just take bits and pieces from what other people have already done, basically, in the past.
Rob, I don't know if you're still there or you just dropped in, but how great would Siya be on an Australian drink and draw? He's got his own show where a bunch of Australian artists get together and they just talk a bunch of crap, which is funny and great, and they drink and they draw, and it's great. You would be fantastic.
I think I'm gonna get him beat. That's for sure. Trust me. I could do this. That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
No, I'm not allowed to like start doing accents, right? Because I mean, I was Bob Ross, so it's like if I'm around a bunch of Aussies, I mean, I wonder how I would start talking after a couple beers, you know. So
if you watched our earlier videos of our weekly FOC where we had Aaron Mack on all the time, we had plenty of accents happening all over. We were worried if we were getting cancelled. What do you think is your biggest challenge you've faced as a creator? If you can pick one.
I think it's drawing enough to make, you know, a living, and everybody knows how that feels like, you know, in comics, regardless of how well you are, you just never know when the shoe is going to drop, the other shoe is going to drop. And so it's, yeah, you might build a name. And so if you're not saving enough or you want to have a different lifestyle, I think that was the challenge, is like to get consistent work, to do the kind of work you love, and then also be able to pay your bills in a you know, in a way where you don't feel like you're taking shortcuts in those areas. And I think that's, I mean, in all honesty, like that's the elephant in the room. And so that's why people have to take different routes to get there. I guess some people only do covers. Some people have to have, you know, have to work in the big two or just bigger companies. And so there's just no standard way of being a successful artist. And I mean, that's what discourages a lot of new artists, you know, from getting into the field, because they don't realize that you can do those things. You just have to be methodical about like how you approach your career in a way, you know? So yeah, that would be the biggest challenge.
Did you have anyone warn you of this before you started?
I don't know if they warned me, but they definitely said, you know, you kind of, you see the page rates and you have an idea, you kind of hear about it. So I don't think anybody had to like warn me. But here's the funny thing. I was talking about this yesterday. Remember the Wizard issues where it showed like, it was like the Image guys and their cars and stuff. And then you had Rob Liefeld on the Gene commercial. So you're like, dude, these guys are doing so well. They must be making some money, which I wasn't wrong. But, you know, once everybody thinks that they're going to get a piece of that, it didn't turn out that way for a lot of people. So it's funny and then not funny at the same time. You're like, yeah, look at that Dodge Viper. It is so awesome. But
it is, it is funny to say that though, because I think especially from international crowds like ourselves, I mean, I could just be speaking for myself, but when you see people in America making it to Marvel and DC, like I'm a big wrestling fan as well, for example. So when you see wrestlers finally make it to the WWE, you automatically assume all of these people are making a lot of money and they're set for life. But then you find out just because they're working for these companies, they're not necessarily that set for life, and it's not as great as you think until much later. So I do hear that challenge. But yeah, what do you see your style and storytelling evolving in the future?
I think it's evolving closer to what I had in mind for what my art was going to look like. Because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. So I have all their art books. Like they're thick art books for the online Final Fantasy. And so I've always loved that style. And I've always loved Shinkawa that did Metal Gear Solid. So there's like this look in my head where it's kind of painterly, but also very, the lines aren't, you know, they're very defined and like clean in a way, you know, Sean Murphy, where it's like sharp edges, sharp lines. And so it's getting closer to what I want. I love detailed backgrounds. I will never get rid of that. So it's like, I want to just get better and faster at drawing really cool backgrounds and vehicles and, you know, man-made objects and stuff like that. So I think, you know, I'm a few years away from that. And I think if I just focused on this book and I gave it everything, I think at some point I'll be okay with not feeling like an imposter when I'm drawing and stuff half the time. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How much more time do you have with us today? I don't want to take all your time.
Oh, I mean, we have probably about 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Sweet. Ain't no sin in the dark.
No sin.
All right, guys, if you don't ask questions, I'm just going to keep hogging it all, okay? So
no, mate, go for it. Go for it.
I'll interrupt you when I go in.
Okay. Siya, if you could create a comic book about any topic or genre that you haven't explored yet, what do you think it would be?
I already actually have it in my back pocket, and I was going to work on that before this book. So after this book, if there's enough time, It's a black and white manga. It's called Dragon's Glacier, and it was the manga I was working on. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see that. That's why there's dragons on my prints. I was like, yeah, I'm going to turn this into a manga. So I actually started drawing 20 pages already. I didn't realize I did that many pages, but I just kind of put it back in the thing. But I just wanted to do a fantasy book. I think that would be my next thing. I'd be so happy to do that. So yeah, like that would be my, for sure. I think that would be my next one.
Yeah, that sounds good. Matt has a question. Siya, when you are writing, how far ahead do you plan? Or is it more organic as the story goes, even with a set ending?
I try to plan. So I have an outline where I plan at least the first volume of something. And then I break it down into what the big chunks of those volumes, or what the volume is going to be, like the first part of the volume, middle, and then the end. So I know what the ending to the first volume is. And then I try to figure out what the beginning is, and then you fill in the middle. So the middle is a little bit more something that you could mold a little bit more. And then once you mold enough of those things, sometimes you might want to change your ending because you've written so much and you're like, you know what, I think there's a better ending. But I think it's good to at least know what the idea of your ending is going to be, and then go to the beginning and then the middle. And then you kind of teeter around between the ideas, but then eventually you will come to a better ending, I think, as long as you know that you had an ending in mind, I guess. So yeah, about one volume is how far in advance I plan these things.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Did you ever have to go back to an earlier work and say, I should have done things a little bit differently so that it'll fit into the narrative in the next part?
Yes, there's definitely a couple of things where I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that part. Or if I knew that there was a certain ending, but I didn't plan it because it came kind of towards the third volume of Lola. I was like, dang it, I wish I would have set it up sooner, because it was something that happened afterwards. Because one of the guys that asked me was like, oh, it'd be cool if this happened, and I was like, yeah, I love that idea, but I didn't realize the gravity of what was going to happen. So I was like, dang it, because it's so important, I should have set it up sooner. So yeah, I did that. It's not the worst thing, but it could have been better for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. How do you navigate working with publishers or self-publishing? And to expand on that, what advice would you have for creators considering both options?
If you want to work for Marvel and DC, just know that there's people working right now and they're really good at what they do. So you have to kind of get your foot in the door as whatever position you could get your foot in the door for, whether it's inking, and if you want to be a penciler, but you have to ink first, or you want to be a writer, but you're a colorist. But usually it's not that way around though. And then any bit of work that you could get from any of these publishers, I would get it. And if you are a writer and you need someone to draw your stuff, it might be worth it for you to just pay someone a little bit of money, just 5 pages, right? They'll know if you could write, if you could, because you have to work with an artist anyway. So if you hire someone, or you have a friend that's an artist, or they could draw pretty good, then you could work with them to try to get some pages out so they could see that you could actually do it. So, because I think with writing or drawing, if you're not practicing enough, it's going to show when you're trying to show some of your work, to editors and stuff. They don't, how with writing, they don't take solicitations. But if you're talking about like the art field, I think it's much easier to get in, because now you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you just put your work out there. You're going to gather a fan base. The better you get, people will see it. And if you're motivated enough to get better, just so that you could gather that, then editors are going to notice it and see it. They always did. That's how I got discovered, even way 15 years ago. And then for independent work, it's like, it's good not to quit your day job if you have one. I think it's good to, when you start, just start slowly, like doing a little bit at a time. Because when I was starting my comic book career to try to break in, I was working 4 jobs. I mean, granted, a couple of them were, part-time jobs, but I knew that I had to keep money coming in while I got better, because I was a web developer for 10 years. And so even before then I was working, and then I started to develop my own business as a web developer. And while I was a web developer, I slowly started to try to draw comics. So there was always an overlap. There was never like, I'm just going to stop everything and do this. I think right now it's a little different though. Whatever savings I have and I'm doing commissions, I'm basically going to focus on my book solely right now, 100% of the time, until it gets shipped in April or maybe even sooner. So I've been doing this long enough where I could save, and I understand the importance of saving money if you're going to do something, whether you're starting out as an artist now or you're trying to transition into doing your own thing at that point, So hope that answers.
That's good advice.
Yeah, sorry, just before going to that, it's just you got me thinking, because I've never even considered, if you're a writer, an inker, a colorist, whatever, going in and doing a different job than the one you
that you
wanted.
want, because that's what I did. I started out as a colorist for Aspen, just doing part-time coloring, and then I did some cover work, but then I had to prove that I could do interiors, and so I went to Vince. I was like, hey, I'm willing to work pro bono and just do something small and short, just sequential, just so I could get my foot in the door. And he's like, yeah, if you want to, sure. And he gave me that chance. No one's going to say no to be like, yeah, I want to prove myself, you know, because there's no proof until you do it. And so you just have to be willing to do that. Like I think that's the one thing that new artists get told, or probably the assumption is, oh, I should be paid what I'm worth. It's like, well, but there's no proof. It's almost like an internship in a way. And you need the practice too, and you need to get published. And I think once you do that, it's not that hard to prove yourself. And if you can't draw those pages, then you'll know I'm not ready yet to do those things, right? So no one's going to want to pay me, I guess. So
yeah, that's fascinating. Sorry, Darker Half, here we go. None of you guys have heard of Carmen America, have you? They're proof you can make it in the indie scene.
I definitely, I know what Common America is. They're actually friends with Eric Canetti, which is my friend, and they work together, or they're really good friends. But yeah, he's, I've heard of Common America, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's the gold standard, in my opinion, for creating your own IP and then getting it out there and then building that fan base organically.
Cool. Good question, Darker Half. Matt, I just heard Mark Silvestri say almost the same thing last week about showing that you can tell a story with your art. That is a key they're looking for. Okay.
Definitely a huge portfolio thing. Got to at least try, even if it's not perfect yet. I think the fact that you're willing to put that in your portfolio and not pinups, they'll know what kind of work and how serious you are about getting better and stuff. So that's definitely like the most important thing, even online. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I could talk to you all day, but we won't do that to you. We'll let you go. We do have one last question, though. It is the same question that we do ask every single person that comes on the show. Did Chris Yates word you up? All right. Well, Chris, this mate, what are you doing? You've set it up. All right. Well, Siya, we do want to say a massive thank you for joining us on the show before I do ask that last question, because I can get a little aggressive with that last question and I want you to like me. So I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us today. You've been a fantastic guest. Anytime you ever want to come back, please let us know. It would be an absolute honor for you to come back. Matt, don't give it away. All right, Siya, the last question that we have to ask you is, if we were to say to you, what is AussieVerse, what would your answer be?
A collective of Australians that love pop culture.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty good.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. And at the risk of you not liking me after this, I do have to advise you that is completely wrong. AussieVerse is and always will be for life. We'll catch you next time. This has been Siya Oum. Neo Wonderland.
Was he supposed to cheat and tell me what the answer is going to be? I'm going to be like, Chris, why didn't you tell me? I wanted to look smart. From the womb to the tomb. Nice. Well played.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.